Okay, recording is live. All right, well, welcome to the 11th session. Not including session 0. It looks like Tice has already filled in what his characters are doing. But it has been almost an entire month since our last session. So would anyone like to review the current state of the village? And the orphans, and all the things that matter to your characters.
I know last session we covered the most important thing. We unlocked ice cream in the.
Ice cream is very important.
But you know what that means we can do now? We have unlocked ice cream cookies.
Time for the really advanced crafting recipes. Okay, well, to sum up, so the village has recently had issues with a rampaging, and again, air quotes, troll. The village has had a lot of crime recently that had to involve a justice from Celebre come down and judge it. Apparently some kind of cultist that was trying to do bad things. There were some bandits in the woods that were also trying to do bad things. But all of that seems to be winding down. And the kids wake up to a bright and energetic day. The rains have stopped. And tomorrow, meaning the next session, not this session, is the Harvest Festival, which apparently is a big deal in this town. So most of today will be the adults getting ready for that. However, not all is happiness at the orphanage, as little Mangra is crying. It seems that for days now she's been begging someone to take her into town so she can talk to a bard at the inn and learn how to sing. But no one has done it, and she's very upset because she wants to sing at the Harvest Festival tomorrow, but she doesn't really know how. She isn't confident in her singing voice, which, for those of you who have heard her sing, is basically howling.
Well, with a request like that, who are we to refuse? Unless anybody has objections.
There's nothing that says you have to do it, but you would be jerks if you did not.
We'd get like a thing above our head that she'll remember, or will remember this.
Yeah, Mangra will remember this. Her brother Raskin is also grumpy just because his sister is grumpy. Bibbin, on the other hand, is chasing butterflies and does not appear to care. So let's go down the list. Which characters are coming out today? Tice, I can see that you have Elros on the schedule to go adventuring today. And it looks like Glup will be doing chores at the general store. And Kyleel will be doing chores with the herbalist. Is that correct?
Yep.
Alrighty. Troy, which character are you bringing out today? Do we have a Troy with us?
Sorry, I had to help with something real quick.
Oh, okay.
I am back.
Welcome back. Which of your characters are you bringing out today?
Do we have any idea what we're doing yet?
I think so.
Is what we're doing helping the person with the singing issue?
That's what I was under the impression we were doing.
There you go. Mangra wants to learn how to sing, but she's not allowed to go into town by herself. She needs to be accompanied by older children.
Okay, I'll have a Koffrik go.
And then, what will Chryslisar and Mina be doing today?
It's a good question. I think Crystal's will be doing what he always does. Or maybe not actually. I'll have to rethink about them. I'll try to. They'll both be doing chores, but I'll figure out what they're doing.
Okay. Kristen, which of your characters are you bringing out? Oh, Andre? Excellent.
Yep, that's the plan.
And then what chores will Francis and Zara be doing?
I'm gonna figure that out. Trying to figure out who I want to learn from this time for Francis. For Zara, she'll go to the fisherman. Fill in Francis's once I figure it out.
Okay. Vivian! Ah, Nest is coming. Well, that makes sense. Nest does think of themselves as sort of a older protector of the other kids, right?
Yeah. I want to get a Raxi experience, but I think I'm going to have a Raxi do the Harvest Festival.
Okay.
So it's Nest.
All right. And then for Jackie, which of your characters will be coming to help Mangra learn how to sing?
I think that would be Bax. Leica's gonna go work at the inn, and Chompy's gonna go with the herbalist.
Sorry, I definitely did hear that right because I heard Troppy's going to a therapist.
Trompy could use that,
Probably.
given all that
Herbalist.
Wompy puts Trompy through. All right, the inn, the herbalist. Store, the herbalist. Ooh, Wompy doing chores at the orphanage.
Wompy, after gain some renown, will be able to train all my aptitudes up.
Quite
Thinking
nice.
the same thing. Francis is gonna be there as well.
Well, Miss Maybell sure could use the help on this day of all days. Alright, looks like the only ones we don't have on the sheet yet are Chrysosar and Mina.
Actually, I'm going to change the rack.
If one of the kids is going to use their power, does that? Do you need to roll for that normally?
Do you mean like a supernatural ability?
Yeah, the prodigy thing that we took.
So, it depends on the ability and how well you're trained in it. At the moment, none of the kids really have any training, so everything's going to be a roll, and there's not going to be a lot they can accomplish with it yet. But attempting it is the first step towards learning it. So it's definitely like worth having them fail a lot to try and push towards learning things.
Would that trying and failing utilize a specific aptitude typically?
Typically, it would utilize the supernatural aptitude that it is associated with. So, which character are we looking at right now?
I'm not necessarily looking at a given character. I'm just thinking about the core 6 aptitudes. If leveling up one of those in particular would be wise in tandem with those supernatural abilities that we're going to be trying to level up.
In the long run, yes. But in the short run, you get more benefit by putting levels into the supernatural aptitude itself. I say in the long run because eventually you might get things that are like roll your cunning in addition to your aptitude, or like there might be a lot of advanced things that you do later down the road. But yeah, it really depends. Like if you're trying to become a wizard, you're going to be using a lot of focus and cunning anyway, just in studying the scrolls and developing the spells. If you're becoming like a druid, focus is still useful, but you might also want to have a lot of empathy. But if you're going to
this
become
is for Francis, who's got the death ability from the near-death experience.
okay,
So like communing with the.
so Francis will, if Francis is going to pursue necromancy, Francis is going to benefit greatly from an increased cunning and focus and scholarship. But Francis will also need to unlock a supernatural aptitude, which is, we call them potentials. And you'll see on your character sheet, you do have a place to put not just one, but multiple potentials where you can have great potential in all kinds of stuff. But the first and most basic one would be etheric potential, or necromancy. Necromancy potential. That's what you can call it if you want to be hyper specialized. The characters in town to talk to about unlocking that are Cam, Coddle's brother, who's in town doing magical immunizations. Cam is straight up a scholastic wizard trained at the Celebran Academy. So Cam has traditional, straightforward knowledge of scholastic magics. And so that's one way to pursue that. Yeah.
I see. So would that be someone that I could go to for short?
Yes.
Awesome. And then that would level up my potential, which is kind of like a skill as far as the points spent.
Yeah. So Cam will basically help you pursue the first steps in getting that unlocked.
Cool. Well, in that case, I'm going to go to Cam instead of the orphan. Right, and by I mean France.
Okay.
I do have a small quick question about the Cam then. Since I have a mentor with him, I'm not going to do it this week, but like next week, would I just having him as a mentor do anything else?
So having him as a mentor means that throughout the rest of your character's life, basically, Cam will be available as an assist for various things. Yeah, if for some reason the character Cam becomes unavailable, then some aspect of Cam's life will persist in a way that helps your character. So they'll either receive something from Cam's estate, or or in some way Cam's death, however it happens, will be beneficial to your character in some way. But yeah, Cam is effectively permanently written in as a key component of your character's identity. Has Cam as a mentor. This would be in the same way that, like, I mean, plenty of protagonists in other stories have this. There'll be some famous wizard or teacher or scientist that... So, like, Marty McFly had Doc Brown as a mentor on his character sheet, right?
Arthur has Merlin.
Exactly. Okay, I think we are ready to get started. It looks like everybody's got their stuff sorted out. Yep, okay. So, Mangra is putting on her jacket, but she is going to go barefoot because the rain has stopped, and she finds the galoshes that Coddle has made for her are not really comfortable. Her feet are basically lupine feet. They're, yeah. She is a wolf standing upright, so it's just more comfortable for her to be barefoot. But fortunately, the raining has stopped. Things are clearing up, and while it is a bit chilly out, it's not uncomfortable.
Yeah, you know what would do the greatest help for helping you get more relaxed into singing is I hear like some kind of like eating something that is like creamy and stuff to help with it. So you know, I think we should all go for ice cream before we start doing singing practices.
Miss Maybell overhears you and says, "No ice cream until after dinner, but there will be ice cream after dinner, I promise."
But this is important for her career as a singer. She needs something to like help her loosen her vocal cords.
Miss Maybell puts some honey in a glass of water and gives it to Mangra. And a little squeeze of lemon as well. Mangra drinks it like it's a magic potion that's going to give her singing powers. Feeling a moral boost from this concoction, Mangra is bounding towards the door, pawing at it, even though she's fully capable of operating the door handle by herself. While she is a little bit shorter than most of you, well, most of the humans anyway, as she grows, she's going to eventually become between 8 to 9 feet tall. Full-grown gnolls are big, and the females in particular are very large. But right now, she's just a pup.
For anyone who cares to know, I think that's like as big as Lady Dimitrescu.
Yeah.
Like has to hunch down almost into a 90-degree angle to get through doorways, kind of tall.
Yep.
Oh my.
Gnolls are big. Now, gnolls also, though, their posture is generally not great. Like, they hunch down anyway because they don't like having their forelegs too far from the ground in case they need to go into a run.
Yeah. Lady Dimitrescu is canonically 9 feet 6 inches tall with heels.
Okay, so they'd be a little shorter.
So a little short.
The heels are like 6-inch heels, right? Like that's my
Something like that. Much to my disappointment, I do not have a reference in front of me.
So which area shall we explore to find out singing talents?
Well, there was supposed to be a bard in the tavern, wasn't there? We're basically escorting Margaret.
Mangra says, there's always bards in the tavern. I need to talk to one of them. We'll pick a good bard, and they'll teach me. She's bounding in circles, eager to go.
Right. Well, I assume Henri knows where this is, so he opens up the door and motions for everyone to follow him towards the bards.
All right, up the road to the inn you guys go.
Yeah. You also like check out the herbalist. Maybe she has some remedies just in case like she overuses her vocal cords.
It's not a terrible idea. Is there anything else you guys want to do in preparation? Visit the herbalist is on the list.
I was also thinking once the fishermen come back in, we could talk to the frog boy because he used to be a pirate, and pirates are known for their glorious music.
He might be able to teach her some new songs.
Of course, he'll have to remove certain words out of his songs.
Most of the words, really.
Anyone have any other ideas? We could also go to the toy maker and get like some kind of musical instrument that might be able to help keep her in pitch.
That's not a bad idea. Their toy maker is a carpenter, and so any woodwind instrument or stringed instrument that's made of wood would be within the realm of what he could make.
We could also do a quick test to see if any of us have perfect pitch.
We know.
You just have accidentally had it your whole life and never known because you never sang. Everybody sing.
Well, I'm just saying, if none of us have perfect pitch, how will we know if any of us have perfect pitch?
It would be on your character sheet.
Yeah. This is mostly just an excuse to get a bunch of children singing terribly in the streets.
Mangra is trying to sing. It comes out as a sort of howling. It's slightly rhythmic, slightly melodic, but primarily it is the sound of a wolf howling. But howling joyfully as she bounds in circles around you guys because you're moving slow from her perspective. Not from yours, but from hers. All right, then. You guys pass by the cow pastures, the little strip of forest, and up into the main town square, the main intersection of roads. Here you have, at the four corners, you have the herbalist that you mentioned going to before, the courthouse, the general store, and of course the inn, which is where Mangra wants to be. And it is busy up here. There's grown-ups everywhere. They're putting up like banners across the road, decorations, little wreaths and gourds. And of course, barrels and bags and boxes of food. None of which is being opened yet. It's all being sort of gathered in preparation for mass production of food tomorrow. Elros, your plan was to go into the herbalist and see if the herbalist had anything that would be a healing tonic for the throat?
Yes.
Okay. Because the herbalist is not necessarily needed at the moment for most things, she is busying herself with just decoration. Now, tomorrow she's going to be on call for all manner of alcohol-induced injuries, but at the moment she's just delighting herself in making her shop and her section of the street outside look as festive as possible.
Looks like it's setting up really well. Huh?
Why, hello there!
I've come for a small request.
Oh, getting ready for the festival, are you?
Yes. One of Noel's Mangra, she's going to be learning how to sing, and she has not much time, so she's like quickly preparing for tomorrow so she can sing at the festival. So I was hoping to try to see if there's any kind of remedies or anything to help, just in case she like overworks her singing voice.
Oh, isn't that sweet? Is she going to be in the singing contest?
Yes, she's going to go learn to sing today.
Ooh, one day to learn how to sing. Well, I certainly wish her the best of luck. Let me see if I've got anything. Is she having an itchy throat or a sore throat, a scratchy throat?
Oh, we're not sure yet. I'm not sure yet. I'm just preparing just in case that she needs something to help her.
Preparation, of course. Probably just put some honey in some water, maybe with a little bit of lemon.
Okay, Miss Maybell had already done that.
Smart girl. She remembers. I remember when Miss Maybell entered the singing contest.
Oh, she did?
Oh, yeah. A story she might not tell you.
How did she turn out?
She did her best. And that's really all that's important. Just do your best.
If yeah, if there's nothing besides what she's already had, I guess I have no other requests at this moment. Keep up with the amazing work you're doing here.
Why, thank you. And tell Mangra that I'm wishing her the best of luck. So that I can tell it to her myself, which one is Mangra?
I'll describe it with this. I think the smallest of the three gnolls.
No, she's not the smallest, actually. She's the largest.
That's the largest of the three gnolls.
Oh, she's a gnoll. Oh, my goodness. Okay, come with me.
Okay.
Not a lot of physicians know this, but gnolls have a flap in the back of their throat. It's a protective measure. It protects them from parasites, but it can close and inhibit their ability to speak. So there is a tonic I have that will keep it loose. She'll probably only need this if she gets stressed out. But if she gets stressed out and suddenly can't talk, give her this little tonic, and it'll calm the flap down and let her talk again.
Okay.
So she gives you the, that little tonic. Small little vial. Not a lot of liquid in it, but it has like a weird oily thing where it, like, when you move the vial, there's a delay before the liquid settles.
Okay. Do I shake this before she takes it, or she just takes it like this?
Just slowly pour it in her mouth.
Okay.
But only when it's closing. Don't give it to her early.
Okay. Well, thank you very much then.
You're welcome. Good luck, dear.
Good luck. And good luck with your experiments on the glowing moss stuff.
And thank
I
you.
hope that's been going well.
Did anyone else want to do anything in preparation before going into the inn?
When you go to the inn, is the intention to have like lessons or something?
Yes. The intention is to locate a bard. There should be multiples now, because the Harvest Festival is about to happen. So there's going to be a bunch of them in there. And you'll be selecting a bard to try to be Mangra's instructor, and then helping with whatever it is they need to teach what is essentially a wolf child how to sing.
So I think humidity is supposed to get really good for your throat. Do we have a bathhouse?
This village does not have such an amenity. There is a river.
Henri's upset at the amenities. Yeah. That was my only other idea. I guess there was also Tice, you mentioned getting maybe a toy. Maybe there's like a harmonica or some sort of musical device where we can create certain tones for her to practice with.
While Elros is visiting the herbalist, do you want to run down and visit the carpenter and see if they've got any toys that are musical?
Sure.
Cool. So you go
Which
down.
character is that?
What's
Which character is she taking?
Henri?
All right. Okay.
Did anyone else want to go as well, or is this a solo mission like Elros's?
Bax will go.
All right, Henri and Bax, you arrive. The carpenter has been won over by the kids and is happy to see you. Looking for some toys for the festival?
Yeah, but we're looking for something that can create music, like a specific musical tone. Do you have anything like that, like a recorder or a harmonica?
Make a resource check.
Is that just rolling as many dice as I have resources?
Yep.
Can I assist?
Yes, you can.
We're working with one success.
You're starting with one success, and now trade begins. So he does have some toys that have some musical qualities to it. There's one that you can just have. It's a sort of recorder that didn't come out right, that he's going to just toss, but you could take it if you wanted to. It's quality 1. Or you could use some pips to turn those fails into successes and get up to a quality 3. If you have some precious things, you can get extra successes. And if you have some valuable coins, you can get some extra die rolls.
So wait, valuable coins will get us extra die rolls. What gets us pips?
Pocket money.
Oh, okay.
Got it. I can spend 1 pocket money to turn captains into a 6, 5 to a 6.
Yep. And there you could buy a quality 2 item. If you've got more pocket money, you could turn that 4 into a 6.
I can spend my pocket money as well. I've got 6 pocket money on this character. Turning it into a grand total of 3 successes, right?
Yep. Which would be a nice quality 3. Get your choice. Little banjo, a nice harmonica. They're made of wood, so I guess they're not traditional banjos and harmonicas.
I feel like a wind instrument makes the most sense.
Yeah?
It doesn't have to be tuned.
Instead of the broken recorder, you can get a nice one that came out right.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the way to go for sure.
Agreed.
How many pocket money did you spend?
I spent 1.
I think you needed to spend 2.
Oh, okay. I'll spend 2 then.
Yeah, a total of 3 pocket money would need to be spent to turn all of those fails to successes.
Yeah, I spent 1 of mine and then
I'll spend
plus 2.
mine
So
then. Okay, we should be all squared away as far as that goes.
all right.
Congratulations, shopping achieved. Vivian and Troy, did you guys want to do anything in preparation before heading into the inn? Team Elros has brought back an emergency potion in case Mangra has a panic attack and her protective flap closes up. And Team Bax and Andre have brought back a recorder to, I guess, play along as she sings. Or give her an alternative to singing if singing turns out to not be something she can do.
Really, it's more just to help her keep on pitch, right?
That's a good, useful thing to do, yeah. Particularly if the user of the recorder is capable of staying on pitch as well. Recorders are pretty straightforward, though. I think.
I mean, you blow them and
Yeah, you blow them, you put your
depending on
fingers over the
how many holes
holes.
are open or
Yep.
closed, it makes a sound.
I don't know if we have anyone with engineering skills, but someone could go to wherever we went before to get all those random scrap parts and make like a metronome sort of thing for keeping time.
Did you bring the team for that?
Probably not. That was probably the team we had last time. Maybe.
No, this is one of those, if you go to the miller, she's there and can make it. But I'm not playing her.
Well, if you want to have Koffrik make a run to the miller to ask Mina to assemble something, just give me an athletics check. And for, I'm going to say difficulty is 3. And for every point you miss the success ratio by, you're going to be out of the team for an event. There'll be a turn in which you're missing, if you want to do that. Or Koffrik can do any number of other things.
It's a good idea, but if I'm rolling 1 dice, it's really risky. So I'm guaranteed to miss 2 events, possibly 3.
Because the miller, unfortunately, is not here in the town center. The miller is up a steep road, up on a hill where the wind blows and where the water flows by fast enough to power the mill. So it's a bit of distance. What is nearby is the general store, and the library, and the courthouse, and the smithy.
The general store might have some sort of clock-like device.
Well, I like the torture. You can go to the library and look for a book on singing of some sort.
You're going to subject yourself to the boredom of the library for that?
Take one for the team.
Okay. Will you be looking for books about singing, like as a scholastic endeavor to research singing, or are you looking for a book of songs? Sheet music, perhaps.
Asking the what's the knoll's name?
Mangra.
Mangra. Asking Mangra, did you have a song you like to sing?
Says, I like the song Miss Maybell sings to us at night. You've heard this song a few times. Miss Maybell sings it whenever the gnolls are feeling particularly lonely or sad.
Yeah, I think based on that, I don't necessarily need songs so much as just stuff that would help with like the how singing works.
Okay. Make a focus plus scholarship. The more pips you get, the more helpful the item you recover will be.
Oh, it's gonna be useless.
Yeah. I wonder if there's like any like books that like if like gnolls sing like the Gnoll lifestyle, because it might have stuff about like how they sing and stuff.
It's possible. We'll find out.
You got this.
Any number of successes and you'll find a book, but the more successes, the more useful that book will be.
Just one.
Okay. Well, you find a book. It can give you a sort of a one-time bonus die, basically. It's just a book on... It's not specifically about gnoll anatomy. It's just a book on, like, singing exercises, how vocal cords work. You can't help but notice that somewhere in the book it does mention putting some honey in water and a little squeeze of lemon.
Can I just have a go at teaching Mangra to sing
Yes.
with no singing expertise myself? Like as we're walking up there, keeping Mangra occupied while everybody else runs off and does things.
In particular, if you have one of the bullshit artist talents, then absolutely.
I don't, but I have really high leadership for a child.
In that case, do you want to just basically get her into high spirits? Like, use your leadership to try and do sort of a morale boost? Or do you want to actually try to impart knowledge that you don't have?
Trying to impart knowledge that I don't have, I think, is what I would want to do in this situation. Because
Okay.
I do know the song, and it's not a complicated song. Miss Maybell sings it all the time.
She does. Well, if you want to talk to her about the song, that is knowledge you have. So you could help rehearse the song with her if you want.
Well, that's what I was trying to do, is try to go through the song like line by line and just try and, as much as I can without knowing how Grohl physiology works, get her to have words instead of howls.
So on your first go-through with the song, it sounds very much like she's just talking until she gets to an ooh sound, and then she howls the ooh sound.
Yeah.
Well, all right. So that's going up like ooh, ooh. Just try to get Mangra to repeat after them.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead and make your leadership roll, and we'll see if you can coordinate her enough to get her some practice.
Leadership plus
Definitely empathy. Dang, you roll some dice on that. These kids are getting leveled up.
Well, it is my one skill.
Okay, you get her through the course of the song, and yeah. You're not sure that she's necessarily any better at it, but she definitely has the words in her memory a little bit better. Should I offer bonus XP if someone actually sings the song? No, that would be mean. All right. Okay. You guys then are, looks like, ready to enter the inn. You've got your items collected. Yeah. I would begin singing the song out of a desire to do good, but through me it would wield a voice too great and powerful to imagine. My voice is almost back. It's just a little, like, action hero-y right now. Alright. Stepping into the inn. The inn is somehow even busier than the street. And some of it is preparation, but a lot of it is that there's a lot of people here for this. Even though this is a tiny town, I mean, Harvest Festival is a big deal, and there's people who have traveled from pretty decent distance to either sell their stuff at the Harvest Festival or perform. And already there is a couple bards up on the stage. They're doing some kind of dueling instruments routine. They don't seem to be performing for real. Like, they're not working the crowd and trying to make money. They seem to be like they're just getting used to the stage setup, testing out the sound, the acoustics, and chatting up with each other and playing their instruments, and yeah. What you might call a pickin' party. Get your guitar pick and just mess about for a bit. About the room, you do see other potential candidates for barddom as well. Some are more obvious because they have instruments. Some, it's questionable. Like, there's clearly a juggler. It's not sure if that juggler knows how to sing.
Does any of them look like one of the great bards?
Look like one of the what?
Or is there or is there a way to tell if someone's a Faith and Knock bard?
Yeah, there really isn't a lot of ways to tell if a bard is a Faithanok bard by looking at them. Now, when they play music, you start to tell because supernatural stuff will be done by the heroes that they're there to represent. But yeah, no, the Faithanok bards are generally, I mean, there's so few of them here in the West that they're known by names. And Harving is not here.
Are there any gnolls?
No, there are not.
Anything that's gnoll-like that might understand gnoll theology?
There's a really wide variety of species represented here. You've got humans, dwarves, elves. There's even a halfling picking at something that looks guitar-shaped. But yeah, no gnolls. This might be because all of the remaining gnolls are either farther north, or they've joined the military, joined the Crimson Guard to fight Apthus. The whole reason that Mangra, Bibbin, and Raskin are here is because their parents left them with the orphanage so that they could go to war. And the reason they went to war is because the entirety of the rest of their village was wiped out by the Cinder Plague, which was caused by Aphthis and has been decimating towns to the south.
I mean, sure, there's like somebody who's like too injured to fight who might have gone on to be a bard, but the chances that they end up in the village are quite low. I imagine.
Yeah. The gnolls are native to the Cilician forests, which are like 2 mountain ranges north of where you guys are on the map right now. But they have been migrating since they started integrating into other societies. They've transitioned from a tribal nation over the past like 35 years. But yeah, they're not super widespread. There probably are gnolls living in Celebre, city gnolls, but the major gnoll community that lived down here got wiped out, unfortunately, by a plague.
Maybe we should talk to the innkeeper and ask her if she knows any of the bards here that might be able to help us with this.
Well, you only need to say the name Grammy at a low whisper, and she appears with cookies. Oh, there's our little lords of ice cream.
We have come on another yet noble quest.
And what would that be?
Mangra wants to learn how to sing for the festival tomorrow. And we're looking for a noble bard that might be able to impart her with some learning.
Oh, you sweet dears, what a wonderful thing. But I should warn you, many of these bards are quite tricky characters. You see, it's their profession to lie. Now, most of the time, they don't mean anything of it. They're telling a nice story. But remember, someone who spends their life telling stories is very well practiced at telling stories. You're more likely to be viewed as an audience than you are as someone in need of genuine help.
What would your advice be then?
She looks around, she says, those two on the stage, good musicians, bit of rascals, always have a rivalry between each other, fight over tips. She looks actually at a card game and points to one of the people playing cards. Says, that's one to watch out for. I wager by the end of the hour, everyone around that table will be accusing him of cheating, and they are probably not wrong. She points over the halfling and goes, actually never seen that one before. Not sure who that is. She doesn't mention anything about the juggler, so I guess the juggler probably doesn't actually know how to sing. Says, okay. Oh, and there's an elf guitarist upstairs. Hasn't come down, but has just been paying for the room, so we're leaving him alone.
Ah, I see. So you're saying the two brothers have a rivalry?
Well, they're not brothers. They're just, they know each other, and yeah, they're always fighting over tips. each claims that the audience is only there to see them and not the other one.
So, my thought is to catch the guy cheating and then blackmail him into giving singing lessons.
One of my ideas was to give the same offer to the two rivalries, saying that the other one was going to give a better deal, and saying that their music was superior.
I like how all these children are just playing adults against each other.
If we can catch this guy cheating and prove it, presumably he would actually have no choice but to give us singing lessons.
Yeah, or we could randomly just talk to the halfling who's just no one knows about.
There's the unknown halfling sitting by himself. There's an elf guitarist that is a regular at these events, upstairs meditating in his room. And then there's the two gentlemen, one with a fiddle, the other with an accordion, that are having a little musical duel on the stage right now. And then there's the blackjack player, whose instrument is not seen, but whose hands are moving cards.
Do we want to split up and try to find the best person for them?
Not the worst idea.
Leica's also working at the inn today, if I'm not mistaken.
Could coordinate with one of the other kids working at the inn.
Is our goal to kind of suss out their singing abilities? Or do we assume they already have singing abilities and we just want to find out who's the best?
Do you want to spend some time doing research before you approach them and see what their talents are?
I like that plan.
Okay. So I guess each of you is going to pick one of them to stalk. Let's see. All right, Bax, which of the potential musician bards here do you want to stalk to see how good they are?
Probably the blackjack player.
Okay. Henri.
It's the accordion.
Okay. You kind of get 2 for 1 with the accordion guy because he's dueling with the fiddle player, so you can just sit and watch them both. Elros.
I'm gonna sneak up and listen in to the elf's room.
Okay. Koffrik.
I feel like that just left the halfling.
Yep.
So I guess I'll keep an eye on them.
Unless there's others that are undiscovered. And Nest.
I guess I'll go to the juggler just to try and figure out if the juggler can sing.
Okay. We will start with Bax. I am contemplating what kind of a roll you might make to evaluate someone's ability.
I have propriety.
That's a good way to do it. You can certainly figure out if they're honest about their ability in any case.
Yeah, let me give that a shot. What do I pair with it? Perception?
Yes. I think performance would also be acceptable, since
Ooh,
it would involve
nice.
an understanding of performance. Oh, nice. Okay. You're examining the blackjack. So, 2 successes. That's great. So, the blackjack player, as far as you can tell, does not have an instrument, which implies that their expertise is singing. And when they speak, at first, it sounds like maybe their voice might be a little messed up, until you realize that that is a fake mess up in the voice. They're trying to basically psych out the other blackjack or the other card game players. It's not specifically blackjack. It's just they're playing a card game, and basically he's trying to make them think that he has a tell with his voice cracking, but he doesn't. It's something that he is doing on purpose. So excellent vocal control on this character. Also, absolutely a liar and a cheat. Next up, Henri. The dueling performers. If there are no relevant skills, at the very least roll your perception. But if you have performance or propriety, either one of them would assist you.
I sure don't. All right. Perception it is.
Okay. They're passable singers, but they're not really doing a lot of singing. They're mostly relying on their instruments. Every now and then, they'll speak a verse, and they'll use rhythm and rhyme to make it seem like part of the song, but when it comes to the actual notes, they're leaning very heavily on their instruments. Elros. You need to make a stealth check. Unless you want to be caught. If being caught is part of the plan, then yeah, then you don't need to make a stealth check. Okay, you are stealthed. So you, I guess, are you approaching the door, or did you want to go for the window on the outside?
The window on the outside.
All right. So from outside, kind of scaling the wall, listen in at the window. You do hear a melodic humming. The elf is sitting cross-legged on the floor of his room on a little mat. Guitar is laid out ceremonially on the one side. And it looks like a set of drums on the left side. The elf is not using either of these. He is just humming to himself. To get any information on how good this elf is, you're going to need to make a perception plus performance check. Or, in this case, perception plus investigation would also work. The elf is pretty good, and there's something else in front of him that's... Your line of sight is blocked by the elf's body, but they're interacting with something else. You just can't make out what it is. But their humming seems to be intentional. It's not an idle thing. It's they're definitely humming a specific song on purpose.
All right.
Seem to be pretty good at it. So, yeah.
Okay, I'll knock on the window.
All right. The elf is startled, turns and looks at the window. You're there at the window, I guess, right?
I'll give them a wave. Like,
He
I show them to
Wait.
come over here for a second.
He waves, gets up, and goes over to the window. When he gets up, you can see that what was in front of him is a small potted plant with a little flower blooming in it. He walks over to the window, opens it, and says, "Can I help you, child?"
Yes. I haven't seen that many elves around here as much. I noticed I overheard your beautiful singing. We were looking for someone that might help a friend of ours. She's a bit of a shy one, but she wants to learn for the festival. And I heard that you're pretty amazing at what you do. Seeing if there's a way you could help.
My skills are of a particular skill set, special to my order. It is not something that we teach idly to children. If your friend indeed pursues the art of singing throughout their life, then as an adult, perhaps they can come. Tell your friend that on the winter solstice, we meet by the great tree in the northern forest.
All right.
To-
What floor am I on, by the way?
Unfortunately, there are so many large trees in the northern forest that the term great tree could refer to any of like 100 different locations. But whatever. Yeah. So you return to report. Koffrik. Which one were you researching?
The halfling.
Oh, the halfling. The halfling's got this crazy looking guitar with like weird spikes coming out of it that look like they've got little mirrors that the halfling is adjusting. It doesn't seem to be playing any particular song. It's like he's tuning the guitar. Go ahead and make your investigation roll. Perception plus either performance or investigation. Or propriety. And tell me which one, because they reveal different things.
They're all the same, but I guess investigation.
Okay. You have no idea what's going on. The instrument doesn't make sense. Yeah. This halfling is a complete mystery to you. It's like he's not even playing a song. Like, what's going on? Just fiddling with weird mirrors on the side of his guitar. All right, and last but not least, Nest, you were checking out the juggler. Go ahead and make your roll.
I don't have any useful skills, so I'm just going to, I guess, use my performance or whatever to just see if singing this part of this guy's act.
At no point in his act does he sing, but seems like a reasonable, competent juggler.
Can I ask him to teach me juggling?
Yeah, you
just
can go ahead and ask.
Yeah. Excuse me. Your juggling is. I've always tried to juggle, but I've never gotten past two. I've never gotten to the third one. I always lose track. Can you give me a few tips?
Sure, kid. Sit down. We're going to start off with just one, because you might think that getting to 3 means going through 2, but actually, it's all about what you can do with just one at first. Got to get your arm learning how to do it without you thinking about it. And so you're going to start getting a juggling lesson. Meanwhile, everyone else meets back up.
I definitely want to relay the intel I got on the blackjack player, the card player.
Go ahead. What's your opinion of the blackjack player as a prospective teacher for Mangra?
This guy seems to know what's up. He's changing his voice to pretend he's worse at playing this game than he actually is.
So skilled, but unscrupulous. Did anyone else have something useful to report?
The elf guitarist is not willing to help, though he does provide information about some tree in the northern forest to meet them at the winter solstice. Don't know what tree yet.
Henri will point over at the two musicians that he had observed and say, "Yeah, those guys over there really aren't any good. So not worth our time."
And I'll say the halfling or the halfling couldn't play or sing. He was just twisting his instrument. It didn't make any sense.
Does anyone want to do any further research on what their friends have reported?
Maybe see if the card player is cheating.
Okay.
Yeah, I could try to casually walk past to behind him and maybe able to glance at something to see if I can figure exactly what's happening. Since I think I'm one of the more sneaky of the group.
You definitely nailed that stealth roll earlier.
I do have a plan with my juggling lesson, so I do want to continue that.
Okay. The juggler seems genuinely interested in teaching the craft.
All right. So at the point where I've moved on from one and I'm now like making progress with 2 or maybe even 3. I want to ask, so do you do anything other than juggling?
Says, oh man, I've done all kinds of stuff. Used to do magic acts. Of course, it's hard to do the mundane magics when, you know, an actual wizard could actually create a real magical effect. So I moved into juggling because showing the sleight of hand out in the open is much more impressive than hiding it to pretend that you have magic powers you don't.
Did you ever do anything like musically?
Oh yeah, did do a bit of music acts back in the day. Been a while. I had this partner. She was an amazing singer.
Oh, I have a friend who's really interested in singing. Is she here?
No, she settled down in Celebre, started a family. Kind of got out of the biz. Though I hear she still sings nightclubs up there.
Well, you're probably not a bad singer, I imagine.
I don't know, I guess so. I mean, we did some duets, it was nice.
I really don't want to take up your time. I'm really thankful for this lesson, but would you mind my friend's a null, and really wants to sing for the festival and can't really. I mean, she can howl really well, but if you could just, you're a really good teacher, and that's all. I just, she doesn't have to learn to be, a performer. She just needs to learn to, sing as well as like a 5-year-old can, where everybody goes, "Oh, that's cute," and not, "What's this infernal howling?"
Says that. That's an interesting thing. I never heard of a null singing. Well, yeah, I mean, if I can help, I'm happy to help. I don't have anything to do till the festival tomorrow.
I'm going to call Mangra.
See, you have successfully recruited a person who's not well practiced in singing, but is eager to be helpful.
Yeah. Again, just needs to be cute enough to, like, for everybody to go, "Aw," at the festival. That's all.
But what about for Mangra?
She's 5.
She'll
Right?
remember. She'll remember.
Mangra remembers this.
I think my friends want to get, like, some, like, professional bard or whatever, but I just need somebody to, teach the basics right now. You start with basics and then move on to the professional stuff.
Says, I mean, that's a smart idea. That's how I learned juggling. That's how anyone learns. You start with the most basic thing you can do. You learn to do it by rote, and then you add complexity to it. Anyway, you have successfully recruited one potential teacher. Is there going to be an attempt to recruit another one?
Still got my eyes on the blackjack player.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was waiting for Tice to do his stealth thing, I guess.
Yeah.
So, Tice, you're going to stealth over there and find out if he's cheating, or are you going to slip a little something in there and, yeah. Are you going to make him cheat?
Yeah, I'll make him cheat. That sounds like something that Elros would do.
Okay. You reverse pickpocket a playing card into his sleeve or something?
Yeah, so then it like falls out when he goes to move.
All right, this is stealth plus agility. And this is a contested roll against this gentleman's perception.
Gonna spend an agility to just immediately get my agility and successes, and I'm gonna roll 2 dice. Let's see here. Would I get the pips for my costume for being Matthias?
Yes. Ooh. The dice did not favor your opponent in this roll. I think you're gonna succeed no matter what because you have those
Yeah,
automatic
3
successes. Yep. Okay. You reverse pickpocket that card right into his sleeve, and when he goes to put one of the little gambling tokens out for his bet, the card falls out, and there is a gasp on the table, and people stand up, and Grammy says in the back, "Here we go." She's been expecting it all along. All right, what's your play?
Let's see. Let's just like we go. Let's go like. What the heck's going on?
This man's been cheating. Get him. Says, whoa, hey, I didn't put that there. I got no idea what's going on here. That's what they all say.
Well, I don't know how we're gonna endear him to us after this.
There's always a juggler.
I mean, the first step would be preventing this group of card players from beating the crap out of him.
I think Bax will jump in. Hey, let's not be hasty now. Let's see if we can't figure out maybe this is an honest misunderstanding.
Can I drop the balls I was trying to juggle and have them like go in there and get in the way as like a child just trying to pick them up?
Yes.
I'm going to do that.
Hey, kids. There's a see. Kids are playing. Come on, this is not me. This is a kid's plan. He looks down at Elros and is like, "Come on, kid, back me up on this."
Elros?
Oh yeah. Actually, he wasn't a cheater at all. I can prove it because I have the rest of the deck here in my hands, as I was the one who was the master stealth artist here. Is if a child could accidentally cheat in front of you, how do we know that no one at this table was able to cheat?
All right. The gambler calls El Diatra, which is a name you don't hear often, but Grammy comes over. That's her actual name. And says, "What's going on, Earl?" Says, "These kids been messing with the game." It's like, "All right, kids, come along." Earl looks at the other gambler and he says, "I think it's time you take your winnings and head on out." He says, of course. Sorry about the confusion. It's kids being kids, but maybe we'll play another game after the festival." Earl is nonplussed. Did lose a little bit of money that night. All right, but the gambler is back. He is a little confused though. So he looks at Elros like, "How did you get the card to my other arm?" As he pulls a card out of the other sleeve.
I like It's like imagine like he was like scratching his leg or something, and like I just slowly walked by and I just slipped it up there while he was. So what he felt was like his itching of his leg was actually the card.
Man, kid, you're good at this. Tell you what, I'll buy you. Oh, okay, I guess not a drink. What do kids have? Cookies?
Yeah, but
We
I
also
do have
do
a
favors.
little request that I hear that you have a good singing voice, and that we have someone that wants to learn how to sing better for the festival tomorrow.
Well, you did disrupt my game, but you also saved me from probably a bit of a beating. So, all right, I'll help your friend. Singing's an easy thing to learn. I can teach anyone. You don't need a roll to know that he is lying. All right, 2 teachers recruited. 2 potential teachers, anyway.
I kind of want to make them work together.
Could be interesting. All right, where are you going to take them to give Mangra her lesson?
I'm trying to think of where the place that have the most like um, best place to sing at.
The middle of a crowded bar is probably not ideal. She'll have trouble hearing herself.
Yes. It has to be something like a voluminous sort of area, like enclosed though. Let's see. Where do I think I know a place that we might be able to go. We'll borrow the sheriff's. We can borrow the sheriff's judging room because that is a very voluminous sort of place.
It is, and it's completely not in use right now.
And I thought you were about to suggest the jail.
Well, technically, both are not being used right now.
Sheriff is right now completely in his element as he stands in the middle of the road, directing other people to do things.
A wild apple appears.
Sheriff catches the apple and says, "Is that Elros?
Yes, indeed.
I trust you're going to be on your best behavior for the festival."
As good best of a behavior as I can be.
Well, I may let a few things slide, given that you did get that ice cream going. Man, I haven't tasted ice cream since I was a little thing.
We're looking to help Mangra here do some singing lessons, and we were wondering if we could borrow the judge room so we could use its volume and stuff to get the best pitches.
Oh yeah, no one's using it right now. Sure, I'll go unlock it for you. So after giving a few more orders to his deputy, he goes and unlocks the room. You and Mangra hop in, and the rest of you begin bringing the associated teachers. Just to double check here, Henri and Koffrik, were you guys doing anything else?
I wonder if it might be helpful to recruit backup musicians for the singing performance. They
Could
can
be.
help compensate for any issues.
Could be. Who did you want to talk to?
I could approach the two that I was observing earlier.
Okay. Consider them approached.
Yeah, I'm thinking about how I want to handle this. I have one valuable coin. That might be a bit much. But if it need be, I'll try and see if I can bribe them with money. But first I'll just see if they'll do it out of the generosity of in their heart. So basically, I'm gonna go up to them and just say, "Hey," and I'll like point over at the gnome. I can't remember her name, and say, "Hey, would you mind helping me out? She's gonna be singing tomorrow, and I think it'd be really great if you guys could be her backup musicians, during her performance."
You're like, both of us?
Yeah, it looks like you guys play really well together.
They look at each other and then they both say in unison, "Okay, but you're paying me more than him."
I don't know if you noticed, but I am a child, so I don't really have any money. But it would really make her day.
Go ahead and make a persuasion plus empathy check. If you can get 3 successes, then they'll both come.
Yeah, I am screwed. I wonder if I could trade something. I don't really have anything, but I do have a trade skill. Okay, well, I'll just make the roll. I don't think there's any way I could utilize my trades.
Trade does not necessarily have to be used for a physical object. If you're trading a service for a service, that could work.
Well, the card guy owes us a favor.
He does.
How might we cash in on?
The card guy?
Cash in on the favor. Like what? I'm trying to think. Like
They're cashing in on the favor by getting him to go to the courthouse to teach Mangra to sing.
all right, well, never mind. Yeah, I thought you brought that up because there was a connection to what I was doing. Never mind then. I'll just roll my empathy.
Like, sorry, kid. We're here to work for our living. Not doing favors tonight. But if you come to our concerts, my concert will be better than his concert.
I think I could get a couple people to come to your concert. Do you get paid by the number of audience members that show up?
Paid in tips. Except when he steals my tips.
What if I promised you that I could get a much larger crowd to show up for you tomorrow than otherwise might be there?
They look at each other, look back to you, say, in unison, "We're listening."
Well, we have a lot of connections to this town, so I think I could put in a good word for you.
What kind of connections?
So I'm wondering, like, I mean, I guess Miss Maybell is putting on this whole thing. Like, who's in charge of this?
So the Harvest Festival is something that the town puts on every year as the harvest finishes. Basically, what's going on is that not everything is going to be able to be preserved. And so the excess that they're not going to be able to preserve to last throughout the year might as well be eaten, so they throw a giant party.
Okay. I think what I'll do is I can help by putting up like flyers, promotional, basically like those annoying people that are just like standing there as there's a bunch of people walking around, handing you flyers that you don't really want. But basically, I'm gonna sell it to them as an awesome service. Like, hey, like I can make sure there's gonna be butts and seats at your concert by promoting it throughout the town, and you won't have to lift a finger.
All right. This is worthwhile. This crowd seems pretty dead anyway. It's not actually dead in there, it's just that not a lot of people are paying attention to them. Alright, go ahead and make your trade roll. This should be a much easier roll for you to succeed at, since you actually have some trade. We'll see if you trade your service for what kind of level of dedication these guys are going to put towards this.
What aptitude do you think would go well?
Do you intend to actually follow through? Because if you're lying to them, then it's cunning. For sure.
Yeah, I feel like, I mean, realistically, I'm not going to be able to follow through on this. So, I mean, it's more of a lie than anything.
I could do it. I've got athletics as backs to actually follow through on that.
I mean, I guess it doesn't matter what I can roll 4 dice right now if I'm lying to them.
Yeah, if you're being honest, then you could use empathy instead, if you wanted to.
Yeah. I'd rather go the lying route, and then hopefully we'll make sure our performance is before their performance, so that they don't find out.
Again, I can try and make good on that promise on your behalf.
Okay. In that case, I'm going to lie, and then later on, if Bax finds out about it and wants to actually make good on the promise, then that's fine.
Okay, they're reasonably dedicated. All right, that's actually a reasonable thing. Kid hands out flyers. We teach some kids somewhere to sing. Sounds great. It'll be a useful expenditure of our day while we wait for this town to get their festival set up.
What I was intending, and it's okay if it's actually just them teaching her how to sing, but I was intending for them to be backup musicians for her performance.
Oh, okay. Yeah, all right. They'll agree to that. They'll agree to that, but they do want to share the tips. I don't think they don't necessarily realize that her performance is part of a little children's singing contest. But that's okay. It's good.
Probably won't be.
They're doing it for the exposure.
Yes, and don't forget to put their name first when you say introduce them to.
That's right. They both want that. They both want their name to be first.
What are their names?
I haven't named them, but okay, give me a second. The accordion player is Lauren, and the fiddle player is Jamie. I'm basing this on a real accordion and a real fiddle player that I know.
All right.
Right, so Lauren and Jamie, or Jamie and Lauren, depending on which of the two you're talking to, are ready to be backup singers and head along. Koffrik, I think you're the only one I haven't heard from recently.
I was basing going back to the halfling if we couldn't find people, but I think based on me having a bad experience already, I don't think there's much I can do.
One thing we know is there's definitely never ever been a thing as too many teachers at once.
And you've pretty much cleared out the bar of all it's used for personnel anyway, so the halfling is going to go up and take the stage.
Yeah.
Do you want to go with your friends to Mangra's lesson, or do you want to stay and watch the halfling perform?
That might be useful. Yeah, and I can catch up.
Okay, so you'll stay and watch the halfling's performance. Meanwhile, at the courthouse, Mangra's hopping in circles excitedly. The first of the potential teachers to arrive is the juggler, who immediately recognizes that Mangra is the only gnoll in the room, so he knows that's definitely the subject. Because this teacher was warned ahead of time that he was teaching a gnoll. The card player, upon arrival, was not informed he was teaching a gnoll. He was just informed he was teaching a friend of yours, and upon seeing the gnoll, bursts out laughing, and Mangra is insulted by this. Says, "Is this a joke? You want me to teach a wolf to sing?" The juggler gets really mad at him and takes him aside to have words about behaving like an adult. But Mangra's feelings are very hurt. Would anyone like to do anything to support Mangra?
Yeah, I want to kick this guy in the shin.
Nest has been working on juggling this whole time. Is just going to fire them at this dude and be like, "Oops, sorry, bad juggling."
Okay. Both of you make attack rolls, please. In juggling case, that would be throwing, and I think for backs, it would be probably unarmed.
It's funny to actually have it.
And Elros is going to pull out a cookie he took and give it to her. To Mangra.
Throwing would probably agility for throwing, and unarmed, probably vigor. Okay. You have sufficiently shamed him such that he is willing to stay and make a go of it. But, yeah. But Mangra is still very upset at him.
You better apologize.
He issues what sounds very much like a heartfelt apology, but you guys can tell that it's vocal control, and he's not entirely sincere. He's doing it to save face, and because he doesn't want you to go and get Earl and have Earl kick his ass.
Max does errands for the sheriff, so
Yeah, he doesn't know that, but if you wanted to go get the sheriff, you could really make this guy's day bad if you wanted to. It is impressive, though, how well he controls his voice in issuing what sounds like an incredibly genuine apology to anyone that's not paying attention to his facial expression.
Is that including Mangra?
Mangra is too young to fully understand how insincere he's being. So she sort of sadly and shyly accepts his apology, but she is a little bit down about this whole thing.
I know what always cheers me up, and I'll hand her a cookie.
Right, she takes the cookie. She is a little deflated. She was so excited she was bouncing before. Now she's just kind of sitting quietly waiting for instruction to start.
I'll give it a go at trying cheering her up. I'll just tell this guy probably just doesn't know very much about the awesome singing power of a knoll, so you should be the one that's laughing at him.
All right. Go ahead and give her a leadership roll. Leadership plus empathy. Perk those spirits up.
Just going to be empathy for Bax here.
Alright.
Can I get pips from my outfit in this case or no?
What's your character?
Gunther.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. A rousing speech about being heroic in the face of adversity? Absolutely. Okay, so that's one success. Making some progress. Anyone else want to?
Nest is going to sit with Mangra and try lift her spirits by just complimenting her every time that she accomplishes like a little something, and joining her in singing in some cases.
Okay.
And I'm assuming this is also leadership.
Yes. She's got 4 more. Oh, 1 more. She has 1 more point of reduced spirits at the moment. Either one of you could, if you wanted to, expend or tax a bit of composure to essentially shrug off her feelings of self-doubt by imposing upon yourself a little bit of stress from not being as super critical of this asshole as maybe you want to be.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay.
I'll also accidentally elbow him in the face as I sit down.
All right. So the first lesson that the juggler wants to teach is he just wants to teach basic vowels. Says most singing is the vowels. The consonants kind of decorate it. So you got the oo sound down really good. Let's work on other sounds like A, I, E, and O. The asshole, the card player, is controlling his snickering pretty well, but just like you're not really a pro singer, are you? And he starts being a little bit rude to the juggler as well. Meanwhile, back at the inn, Koffrik, the halfling has sat down on a stool with a strange guitar. It's a human-sized stool, so it's like way up for the halfling from their perspective. But plucks a couple notes, and for some reason, when he does, all the lights dim, except for a light, like a spotlight, shining down from the ceiling. But there is no spotlight on the ceiling. But there's definitely a light shining on this halfling as though there is, from plucking a few notes. And then he looks up, and he starts into a song. And as he does, lights and colors are swirling around him. crowd is quite impressed.
Wow. Is he just playing or is he singing too?
Just playing.
Okay.
Does your character know what sonomancy is?
I'm gonna guess yes as a
Because you're a dwarf, right? So it's possible that you've heard of this. Essentially, what you're seeing is this halfling using their instrument so precisely to hit notes so perfectly that it's creating literal magical effects. And the halfling has integrated those effects into a song such that he has control over lights and has dancing colors around him as he plays the song. Meanwhile, back at the courthouse, Mangra is starting to get other sounds. And it's at this point that the backup band shows up. Who was escorting them? Oh, it'd be Henri, right? So Henri, you arrive with the backup band. They arrive in time to hear Mangra practicing her E's and I's. They see that it is a knoll, and they both look at each other and look really worried all of a sudden.
I'm gonna like get over there, get up the top of this, and make sure I let them know. Oh, hey, forgot to mention it's a knoll, but hey, it's all good. That means more tips. You're gonna be the first musical act with a knoll lead singer.
They kind of shrug, all right, let's give it a try. So they go standing there and say, what song are we playing?
What song has she been practicing?
She's been practicing the song that Miss Maybell sings to her, that, as far as you know, no one else knows.
Oh,
Uh,
no one knows it?
I mean, we could hum the tune at least and have them play by sound.
It's not a traditional song that's shared between bards. This is a song Miss Maybell wrote specifically for Mangra, Raska, and Bibbin to have lots of ooh sounds in it, because that way they can howl along while they sing.
Nice. Would we be able to like try and hum along so we can teach the musicians the song?
Yeah, go ahead and make a performance check. And every success will be helper dice for the musicians when they go ahead and make their attempt.
Did I get some help from the other people here?
Sure.
Can I turn this into leadership because I'm trying to lead them along?
Yeah, you could use leadership to try and be a conductor.
What aptitude?
Probably focus.
Yeah, I don't have any skills that are useful in this regard.
Neither do I, but your dice will help.
I have athletics, propriety, and survival, and unarmed and melee. With this character, so.
You could go with flex. It'll look really impressive. You could be like the bouncer, like bodyguard person.
Or maybe you're like punching to the beat. You could also just roll just your focus if you don't have anything.
I'll try that. Actually, I'm going to try the flexing thing. That's going to meet my vigor. And I assume, use my Gunther outfit, so I'll try that.
Okay.
You're just like bouncing your pecs to the beat.
Okay, how many helper dice is that in total? I think I'm counting 5.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, they have something approaching a song. It definitely doesn't sound the way that Miss Maybell sings it, but it is music, at least.
That's devastating.
Yeah, it's music at least is not what you want to hear usually.
It sounds good. It isn't that specific song. This would be like if someone was trying to it's like if somebody showed you the lyrics to the Beatles' "Let It Be," and but the person who was singing it was like using an Elvis song, but singing those lyrics. It's like Jailhouse Rock. They've got the tune of Jailhouse Rock, but the words to "Let It Be." That's kind of what's going on.
Let's see.
It's definitely not Miss Maybell's song, but it's musical, and yeah.
Can we get Miss Maybell in here?
That may be
Can we
difficult, as she's part of the adults doing preparation, but you could try to persuade her. She is human and thus subject to persuasion.
Indeed.
That you know of.
Yeah, actually. So Nest is going to go over to Mangra and just say, "You're doing great. Let's just keep working at it. If this guy says anything mean, Max is gonna punch him." And then run off to try find Miss Maybell.
Okay. Go ahead and make a a vigor plus athletics check to see how quickly you find Miss Maybell.
All right.
All right, you will find her eventually. Meanwhile, back at the inn, Halfling is finishing his first song, and the lights are spinning, and then they fly out and touch all of the different candles in the room, and for a few seconds, the candles all glow different colors. And then the lights return to normal, and the halfling bows to great applause.
He's gonna get a lot of tips for sure.
22.
It looks like he's not doing a full set. He just was warming up and testing his instrument, keeping things tuned. Steps down, doesn't even pass a hat around for tips or anything. Actually walks up to the bar and orders a hot cider.
Yeah, I think I got to see a cool show, but he didn't, like, I was curious to see if he would sing or anything like that, and I know what he can do, and it was fun to watch, but I should head back to, like, find everybody else.
Okay. you rejoin the group then at the courthouse. Do you want to report to them what you saw?
Yeah, when they're not in the middle of anything, I'll tell them. I'll tell them about the halfling and the show.
Andre, also being a dwarf, you probably would be aware of what sonomancy is as well. You may not have necessarily ever seen or heard it happen, but you may have heard the legends of the great dwarf sonomancers that could sing caves into mountains. They built musical instruments that would light up their city and perform all manner of magical feats for them. Alrighty. I guess you guys are gonna keep supporting Mangra while Nest goes and looks for Miss Maybell.
Yep, that's my plan.
Okay. The teachers are doing their best, and there is some progress being made. You do sense, however, that the card player and the backup band are starting to form a silent connection of this is never going to work between them. They're sort of glancing at each other messages when she makes mistakes or howls instead of sings.
I glare at them.
All right, make a propriety plus empathy check to put them in their place.
I'm using my outfit for great effect.
Yeah. I also want to slip a play nice card into the card dealer's pocket, just to make sure that he knows.
He knows that you could get him at any time.
That's right.
All right, make your stealth check to give him a subtle threat. There we go. There's enough successes. All right, they stopped their shenanigans. Okay, Nest, you find Miss Maybell.
Miss Maybell, Miss Maybell, Miss Maybell.
Hello, Nest. Where's Mangra?
Mangra's having singing lessons from some of the bards at the bar. But we got like musicians to back her up, but they can't quite get the song. I was wondering if you could take like 10 minutes. They're at the courthouse. I can handle it here for now. Definitely playing very heavily. That I've spent a lot of time working with Miss Maple. I know how Miss Maple likes things done.
She does. The fact that you offered to handle things here means you don't need to make a persuasion roll. She's going to go ahead and accept that. She tells you real quickly what she needs to get organized, because tomorrow the entire orphanage is going to be away from the orphanage. So she needs to have all their meals for the entire day pre-prepped into a series of baskets she's got to take along with her. And so, yeah, there's a list of the dietary restrictions for everybody. So she's got planned out meals for what everybody's going to have. And there's a note that says extra apple slices just in case.
All right.
And she entrusts you to get that done. So go ahead and make a labor check. So probably focus plus labor.
The fact that hang on. There's other kids at this orphanage, right?
There are, yes.
I mean, yes, there are kids at the orphanage. There are kids working with the orphanage. I know Wampy is, and is there anybody else?
I thought there were two, but one of those might have changed. Oh yeah, Chris Lassar and Wampy are both working at the orphanage.
Can I use my leadership to get them in line?
Yes, you can do that.
So I'm just going to start delegating each task, while also like keeping a little bit for myself, but also more or less making sure that everything's getting done.
Sounds perfect. Focus plus leadership.
Well, that was awful.
Well, Miss Maybell will be disappointed when she gets back, but she still goes. She's not going to find out how badly you failed until she returns.
I feel like I've just spent the entire time chasing Wampy around.
Very likely the case. Alright, so about half an hour later, as we're starting to get into the early afternoon, Miss Maybell arrives at the courthouse. The out-of-towners don't know who she is, so they don't really show her any deference. Which includes all of these bards. They've never heard of her. So to her, she's just some woman that comes in and she sings a song. Mangra can't help but sing along with it. But she gets them the basics of the notes, and they learn the song from her. Mangra is also in much higher spirits with Miss Maybell there. She gives all of you a little cheese sandwich and some fresh fruit from the orchard, and then heads on back.
Yeah. When Miss Maybell gets back, I want Chris Lazar and Wampy have just been sent off, like, to go play somewhere. And she comes back to Nest in the kitchen with stuff everywhere, like Nest thought to tie back their hair, but it's fallen out, and like she's just covered in flour and stuff.
So, Nest, come here. It's okay. She cleans you up, and
That child isn't possible.
that's all right. Thank you for sending me. I took care of it. I taught them the song. I'll clean up here. Go along and play. And make sure Mangra gets back safely.
Okay, Miss Maybell.
Alright, so the musicians need a little break now. They've been playing for a while, and the teachers, they're getting a little frustrated. They're having to tax their composure and stamina a bit. Because Mangra's vocal cords are not built like a human's, and a lot of their information is just not working out right. But some progress has been made. She doesn't just howl the ooze now. She has a borderline howl for other vowels, and her consonants are coming together. She can go through the whole song. She's actually learned all the words now, which is good. But yeah, the musicians need a break. So they're all stepping out on the front lawn of the courthouse to smoke and drink and have little snacks. It seems like Mangra's been in good spirits for most of it, but once the musicians are out of the room, you can see that she was kind of faking it. She seems a little disheartened, like she might not be able to get this together, and is on the verge of giving up.
Maybe it would be good if we like rally everyone to give her like a round of applause for how well she did during practice.
Yep, I will applaud with all of my strength.
Faithanock vigor applauds.
Yeah. Like, this shit should hurt your ears. Do I have to make a roll for that round of applause? Should I make a roll for the round of applause?
If you want to. Mangra's current concern is that you guys, I mean, you're being really good brothers and sisters to her, but she no longer thinks that that you're giving an honest opinion. She thinks you're just being nice to her. And it's starting to make her choke up a little. Because now she feels bad that she's wasting your time, and she's starting to spiral.
Somebody with better empathy and persuasion want to do this?
Well, I thought we would all do it. Then it's like a group effort. Like, basically, we're all giving her accolades. For me, to try and juice as much out of this as I can, I was going to try and go for like an agility where I'm like running around and applauding and like getting everyone in the room, whoever's here, to be in on it as well.
I mean, I'm down. I'll do it. I'll clap. I'll flex. I'll tell her not to lose heart, that we are sorry for not helping her sooner.
Cool. Go ahead and roll your dice.
Yeah. I kind of want, I don't know, I sort of want to like, I know she's not sort of like confident in herself right now. I sort of like want to like, not empathy wise, but like sort of trick her into thinking that like the words I said are sort of like what she believes in herself instead. Like, so I'm be like, it's like we can give you all the training you can, but like, it's like singing comes from the soul, so like you already have the knowledge you have, but you just need to have the confidence to believe in it. It's like you can only teach us how you are you. We can't teach you how to be you.
That's a really nice sentiment.
What should I even roll?
Add 4 pips to your roll there. So if you're just giving her words of encouragement, then this would be empathy plus persuasion, or empathy plus leadership. If you are specifically trying to like trick her into knowledge, distract her, tell a joke to get her mind off of it, things like that, that would be more cunning. But also, empathy still works.
I'm gonna roll my 1 dice of empathy here.
Is Nest back at this point?
Not yet. Your 1 success of athletics indicates that you're not the speediest. Miss Maybell's only just recently gotten back to relieve you, but you'll be back soon.
Nest is anemic for what it's worth.
So after hearing you all give her words of praise, Mangra bursts into tears, runs up and hugs the nearest person, whoever that is, and apologizes. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'll do better. I promise I'll do better.
Just do your best. It's okay.
You already know how your voice works. We're just showing you how our voices work.
My voice works differently from your voices. How do I know how to make a sound? Like you guys know how to do it, but I have a different shape there.
Maybe you could go into a forest or a cave and then just make a bunch of weird sounds. Try stuff out. And when no one's listening, make any kind of weird sound you want.
It's like, oh, okay. She looks at the door with the forest just outside. It's like, I'll be right back. And she hops into the forest.
Elros will stealth behind her just to make sure she's not.
Okay, make your stealth check. As you're following her, you notice there is some stranger from out of town that noticed her running through the woods and seems to want to start stalking her as well.
Yeah, I'll make sure to keep on I am. If he tries to get too close, I'll intercept him.
Okay. You're definitely going to be intercepting him then, as he has taken out a sack and looks like he's going to try and catch her like an animal.
All right, I definitely want to tackle that guy.
Okay, go for it.
Guessing agility melee.
Yes. Alternatively, vigor melee, depending on how you're doing your attacks. What weapon are you attacking with?
I'm gonna use the back end of my rusted axe.
Okay.
So not actually the sharp part, because that sounds like a terrible thing to do.
Just straight up stranger danger.
Straight up. All right, you crack the guy in the head. He says, "Ow! Damn it, you're going to scare it away."
That is under the protection of Miss Maybell.
What? Who's that? Ah, what'd you hit me with?
I'll yell Mangra to run back to the thing.
Mangra hears you say that and dashes off. Wait, that little wolf understood you?
Yeah, she's a gnoll. She's an orphan.
What kind of backwards dipshit is this?
Out of towners, man.
You trying to
No,
kidnap a child.
How the hell am I supposed to know what a gnoll is? He's got a thick Corlanthi accent. Probably somebody who came up from from the south, from Half-Elven. They wouldn't have as much exposure, wouldn't necessarily know what a knoll is, or how incredibly dangerous it is to threaten a knoll child.
Especially when its mom is Miss Maybell.
If its actual mom had been here, this guy probably would have been disemboweled already. In a lot of ways, Elros just saved his life. But yeah.
Yeah, I feel like Miss Maybell would have done something quite similar to this man.
Eventually. All right, so yeah, she comes back. She's like, I didn't get much practice in, but I found some sounds I can make. So she's
Max will be excited and be like, "Cool! What did you figure out?" And just try to encourage her to show.
She's figured out how to make a K sound using the little flap in her throat to make the sound while singing. So she's getting some more of the hard consonants in with alternate things. For her, it's the muscles we would normally use for a G sound, but like the guttural G for good. But that, yeah, for her it comes out as kind of a click because of that flap in the back of her throat. And she can use that to mimic K sounds pretty effectively. So some progress. Okay, Nest, you return. And upon returning, I guess everybody shares information about all they've learned. Nest, were you there to hear about the sonomancer in the pub?
No,
Okay.
I left just before you came.
So you're just now learning about that from Koffrik.
Oh, and yeah, and I would like to report almost child kidnapping to the constable, sheriff.
The sheriff actually puts the guy in jail. Straight away.
A cop doing his job for once. Incredible.
Yep.
Only in a high fantasy.
I was going to say, until we find out this guy knows Pankel somehow.
Yeah, Buddy has like a big bruise on his forehead.
Yeah, and he complains about that, and the sheriff basically says, "You have no idea how lucky you are to have survived that." He's like, "Yeah, it's just a bump on the head," but and he's like, "No, that's not at all what I'm saying."
This is the good outcome.
100%.
Sheriff's like, "You be careful not to trip over any roots on your way out of town." But yeah, he's keeping him locked up for the duration of the festival, as he doesn't want him up to any funny business, and then they'll figure out what to do with him. In the meantime, Mangra is back to practice. The teachers are making some progress, so yeah. There's only the two, so you're not dealing with the too many cooks thing, but they do have different ideas on what to teach. Obviously, the juggler is all about fundamentals. Learn the basics, learn to make each sound, whereas the sort of more professional master of it is all about practice. Not practicing individual things, but practice the whole song, beginning to end. First do it slowly, then a little faster, then a little faster. At first, when you make mistakes, you restart until you can get all the way through, and then when you make mistakes, you keep going. And just keep doing it and keep turning the metronome up a step with each repeat. Mangra still does not have all the sounds that she needs, but it's at least an understandable melody at this point. You may be approaching the cute 5-year-old level that was the target originally. Did anyone want to go out and attempt to acquire any additional resources? You currently have the book on human vocalization, the vial of if she has a panic attack stuff, which you guys have actually prevented her panic attacks in every instance, so good job on that, but you got that backup just in case.
I mean, we've got.
Yeah, I
a
could go to the
recorder.
library and find a. I have the composure to bleed. Find a book called Grawl vocalization, or not Grawl, yeah, no vocalizations. I got Gilmore's voice there.
Okay, go ahead.
So. Says, what was the role again?
Focus plus scholarship.
Ooh, we're going to be doing a few.
Swing and a miss.
I have plenty of composure to burn on this, but
Yeah, but if you're only rolling one die, you're only ever going to get one success, and you already have the book that is the result of one success in possession.
nobody's at the. Is anybody at the herbalist who can help?
Trumpy.
Or-
Trompy is working at the herbalist today, that's correct.
And Trumpy has a point of scholarship. And 2 points of focus.
The possibility then to actually roll something pretty serious there.
Kyle also is there.
So do I roll Trumpy's stuff?
Sure. And then tax Trompy's composure.
God damn it.
Kyle can also make an attempt.
What was the roll again?
Focus plus scholarship.
Actually, I only have one. I only get one dice, so I don't think I can help with anything. Now, if this was gonna, well, actually, no, I haven't spent the experience points yet. I was gonna say if this was medicinal, I'd be a lot better, but I'm not better until the end of the day.
Does the herbal? We know the herbalist is out and about. Could the herbalist, like, if they come back, ask for assistance?
Yeah, you can ask. She's decorating. She's putting out little festive harvest icons.
Yeah, I'll just go up to her and ask, "Hey, so we're teaching about Mangra Seed, and do you have like a book on like how like Grawl physiology works?
Null physiology.
Or no? Oh my god, you can tell what game I've been playing recently.
Yep.
I did that for.
Says I don't recall one. I did get some books on their medical needs. I don't know that any of them necessarily have anything to do with singing, but
but if I can figure out how they make sounds.
All right. Well, let's take a look. So she goes and gets her medical textbooks, that she has. They're not in the library. They're in her like sort of office where she does medical examinations. They're there for her to get reference in case one of the knowledge children have an issue. But she does have a book that is a diagram of the physiology of the respiratory system. So apparently, they're in their native environment. There are these parasites. They're kind of like leeches, but they go down your throat to get to the soft tissue. And the gnolls have this evolved defense against it. It's as hard as leather, and it can block off their throat and just prevent access, making them effectively immune to that little parasite. It also comes in handy when dealing with supernatural threats that want to dive down your throat as well. But fortunately, that's not going on around here. Otherwise, though, it works much the same as other vocal systems. It's just shaped differently. The echo chamber is bouncing in a different shape, which makes the sounds come out more guttural, more growly, and makes ooh sounds with howls have this sort of echoey quality to them.
So what I'm hearing is that Mangra would be an excellent like metal front person.
Totally. But to really understand how like the sound is moving, you would need an expert in sound. Because right now these are just kind of pictures on a page.
Would that by chance be a sonomancer?
Kind of written in the name.
Yeah. I'm going to ask Service if I could borrow these.
It says, make sure you bring them back undamaged. I need them in the event that anybody is injured. This is how I heal people. Understand?
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead.
All right.
Honestly, if it wasn't Nest, she probably wouldn't have. It's like the one responsible child. Maybe not the one, but certainly on the list of the few responsible children.
Yeah, I'll go to find that sonomancer.
All right. The halfling is at the bar, surrounded now by other patrons that are laughing and cheering and complimenting. It seems like maybe the halfling just bought a round of drinks for everyone.
I will. Okay, I have two thoughts about this. One of which I think goes poorly, so I'm going to go with the other one, which is to get Grammy to let me basically behind the bar so I could talk to this guy without having to shove my face through the crowd.
Grammy
So
happily obliges.
Yeah. Excuse me. I heard. You're a sonomancer, right?
Yeah, I'm surprised you know the term. Indeed, I am. Not originally, but I picked it up.
Yeah. So first off, that's really impressive. And like I know lots of kids at our local orphanage would be really interested in talking with you, but I actually need a bit of sound expertise. You see, I'm trying to teach a gnoll to sing, and my voice is not gnoll voice. I need to figure out, like, kind of hold up like the diagram of like the vocal chamber essentially. Figure out like how can I get them to make whatever sounds Mangra is currently struggling with.
Okay.
Like, what would that be for me?
That's an interesting puzzle. What is a Knoll's vocal cord shaped like? I presume you present the stuff.
Yeah. Ness is like keeping like a really firm hold on it, like holding the book. Say, I have to make sure his book doesn't get lost.
The halfling, after looking at the book for a moment, looks up at and says, "Anyone got any paper, parchment, napkin, dish towel, something I can write on?"
Grammy?
Grammy brings him over a cloth napkin and a tube of her lipstick is what he hands him. And he seriously hands her a gold coin for it. It's like it's nothing. He's like, "Here you go." And he starts using the lipstick to draw a little chart.
How much could a banana cost? $10?
Yeah, it's one of those, right? So, he draws a chart, and he says, on one side of the chart it says low and high, and he's got like little dashes along the side. The other side of the chart has a list of notes, basically letter notes. And he looks at the chart, and he, after staring at it for a little, he says, "I think this is right." Says, tell your Knoll friend, this is the highest note that they can sing. This is the lowest note they can sing. And this is how far between them they need to be to hit each of these notes. And he looks at it and he's like, yeah, the spacing should be right. Now, one thing that's interesting about this chart is that the spacing is not even. So sometimes the notes are crammed together and sometimes they're really far apart. But he's created this chart that he says, this should do it. I'd be really interested to meet this friend of yours.
Oh, we currently are doing a session, or like a instructor session. A couple of other professional singers have come through the area. In the courthouse, if you want to come with us. I don't think we can bring the entourage.
Says, oh, they'll be fine. Another round. And he puts a stack of gold coins in front of Grammy and gets down, and they all cheer. And they're like, some of them are starting to follow, and then they realize that their beer is behind them, and they turn around and they don't follow him.
All right. I have to go give this book back to, unless you need more from it, I have to go give this book back to the herbalist, but I will be right there. The courthouse is right that way.
He thanks you and heads towards the courthouse. Koffrik, you're the first to recognize the halfling coming towards you. Halfling is actually about the same size as you, even though it's an adult. That's just because of the species difference. Flamboyantly dressed, and carrying the bizarre guitar on his back. So after listening to the performance for a little bit, the halfling wants to interrupt, but the other instructors are kind of like, hey, we've got this. We've got this. They're starting to be really supportive of Mangra, and they're trying to not be interrupted as they get through the song. I guess we'll wait for everybody to get back. Nest, you're the halfling is still waiting for a chance to speak when you get back after returning the book.
Oh, all right. In that case, I'll wait for like a good point to interrupt, like when they finished an exercise or something.
Okay.
I did ask this guy's name. So while this is happening, I'm going to whisper, "Hey, what's your name?"
He actually didn't give it. He says, "My name's not important."
All right. Well, I'll interrupt at some point and say, "Hey, this guy's a sound expert. Might be able to teach Mangra the sounds that you haven't been able to get across. He's an expert how sounds are formed, essentially."
So he says, I've been listening to you guys play. I want to make some adjustments. He looks around. He finds that because he's in a courthouse, there's actual paper here. Takes out a paper and he just freehand writes all of the notations for the songs they just performed on a piece of paper. It's like, okay, so this is what you guys were playing. We want to make a couple changes. It says, Mangra, sing your highest note for me, please. And she does. It says, sing your lowest note for me, please. She does. And says, okay. So, and he kind of lays out the chart. He's like, I want you to study this and try and find these notes with this guy while I talk to the musicians. He says, starts going through them. It's like, I want you to change these notes here. And he starts making edits. He says, these are gonna complement her voice to help get the sound out. He basically becomes a complete producer for a solid half hour. The sun is starting to set as he finishes instructing them. And then they manage to play the song. It's not a showstopper, but it sounds like music now. It actually sounds like the song. It is unlikely Mangra can do this song without the backup singers. So she's definitely going to need the performance tomorrow. Because the sonomancer is integrated into the performance edits to their sound that are kind of pushing her voice into the right places. But, yeah, it's all done. Mangra can now hear herself singing as she wants to be singing, or as she wants to hear herself as well.
Is Mangra happy?
Yeah.
I'm happy.
The halfling himself, interestingly, he doesn't sing. He just talks theory and math about the music. But yeah. Eventually he says to Mangra, he's like, remember, listen to yourself as yourself. It's like, that's the best you can do. She doesn't entirely understand it, but it's the same kind of nice thing you guys have been saying. So she just takes it to be him being nice. And he waddles back to the bar to spend more money.
I guess it's time to go back home and eat some supper and have some ice cream.
and make good on a deal to promote somebody's band?
I'll do it.
All right. What are you going to do?
Oh, I know.
I'm gonna use my
I'm
vigor
gonna,
and athletics and my Gunther outfit to burst through this shit.
Advertisement!
I'll just take. I'll help with this, and I'll.
Boom! 4 successes, baby.
Oh my goodness. I was going to be like, okay, when there's only 1 or 2 successes, I'm going to be like, all right, tax it and we'll just call it a day. But no, yeah, you nailed it. That is the Gunther way to advertise, too. Loudly. Tyson, did you want to contribute to the success with some
Yes,
overkill?
I was gonna like sneak into people in places and just leave advertisement for them.
It's a stealth viral ad campaign.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but I just imagine this as basically like writing phone numbers on bathroom stalls.
All right, the message is spread. It was Bax's efforts that were more visible, so that's what the musicians consider their deal to be met. So they will show up and perform the rewritten version of the song with Mangra for her entry in the contest tomorrow. Good job, team.
Yay.
Yay! There was much rejoicing.
Yep, and everybody heads home. A lot of buzz and excitement. Everybody excited for the next day where it's going to be a big party, big festival. And yeah. So I guess it's time for you guys to tell all your friends about the exciting day you had.
Yeah. Oh, and I will tell Miss Maybell how I probably helped arrest someone for who was trying to kidnap Mangra.
You see like a little twitch of her eyebrow briefly, and then she recomposes and says, "You did a good thing. Good job." It almost looks like she wants to leave and go up to the courthouse right now, but she decides that instead she's going to make sure all the kids are safe in bed.
All right, time for story time. So we were helping Mangra try to learn to sing, but first we had to make sure. Oh yeah, and I'll give the vial of the stuff that's gonna make if Mangra had chokes up tomorrow to Miss Maybell, just so that she'll have it on her.
That's a good call.
Yeah, I went to the alchemist to make sure I could get something to help with Mangra to make sure that for tomorrow she can have all her vocals loose and stuff to sing the best she can. And after that, I almost got one of her teachers into a fist fight by planting a card into his sleeve, which then later I revealed I was the one who did it, so he was in my debt, which caused him to help us. And then I made sure he kept in his deal when we were at the place by slipping in a card in his pocket again to make sure that he knows that I can just plant stuff on him to make sure he listens to us. So I'm like, cool. That's the cool stuff I did today. Oh yeah, and I got a guy. Someone sometimes tried to kidnap Mangra, so I bonked him in the head, and Mangra escaped. He's in jail now.
Good job. 1 experience point for you. Who's next?
Um, I'll go. So, you know how her name is Mangra, right?
Yes.
You know how Mangra's been asking us for like days and days and days to get help with singing? Well, today we finally stepped up and helped her do it. We got so many grown-ups in the room, it was crazy. And they were all working for us. I was running all over town promoting stuff. So if you need somebody to like hype you up, I'm here. I can totally do that. Check me out. Bax runs a couple laps around the room just to emphasize her point. And tomorrow's going to be a smashing success. I just know it. All this stuff we did, Manger's going to crush it.
All
That's my
right.
boast.
Experience point earned. Who's next?
I'll jump in. So Mangra is going to be singing tomorrow, so everyone make sure you're there to see it. We helped her out by getting her a bunch of lessons and also finding some backup musicians to be there for her. And we kind of just hyped her up all day. So we think it's going to be a great performance and hope to see you all there.
Experience point earned. 2 left.
That's okay. As we'll say. So you decide to go out and finally get Mangra's singing lessons she wanted, and we found a bunch of people at the bar who are all most of whom were willing to help, and then some of whom were dragged into helping. But it still wasn't going well because nobody knew how Mangra made sounds because none of them were grown. And I finally decided to go figure out how Mangra, how they'll make sounds, and then went and got a sonomancer to go and finish it all up. If you did a sonomancy, it's like magic, but with sound. And like performing magic effects by making like big, heavy sound. Yeah.
Excellent. That's 1 experience point for you, and the last up is Koffrik.
Realize I like almost should have gone before Nest, just so it would have been like a build up. But yeah, so we went to help Mangra, and I went to the library to try to learn about how to sing. I don't know how useful it was, but at least I have a book on it. And then everybody was off with a bunch of people. They had different avenues of getting help. But I was curious about this halfling with a weird instrument, so I hung around and found out that he was a sonomancer, and it was an amazing, really cool show, and we should definitely see that if anybody can see it tomorrow. But eventually that sonomancer ended up helping out, which was really great. And Mangra sounded really cool.
Alrighty. Experience point earned. So while we're with you, let's go ahead and talk about what Chrysalisar and Mina did today. Looks like Chrysalisar was working at the orphanage. There was a bit of a kerfuffle when Miss Maybell had to step away for a bit. And apparently nothing got done.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do do I lose my opportunity to learn anything because like Nest just tore us away and just story wise?
Miss Maybell came back eventually, so no, you can still learn. And I know Mina had experience points when she went up to the Miller today.
Yeah, so Crystalzar just is increasing agility. Because I was in the orphanage, right? Aptitude bonuses.
Right on. And did Mina learn anything?
Yeah, Mina now has explosives on board.
Excellent.
That's what it's called, right?
The one that means you don't have to worry about accidentally blowing yourself up from carrying dangerous stuff in your backpack?
Yes.
Yeah, that's the one. That's for almost every character we've ever had that goes the alchemy route. That's always the first step. Get explosives on board so you can actually carry around stuff safely. Then start putting points into alchemy.
Yeah, it's definitely a prereq.
Having heard all of the stories, which character would Crystalzar like to give their experience point to?
Crystalzar is gonna do give experience to Elros for backing or keeping an eye on and helping out Mangra, like in that defensive moment.
Well earned. What about Mina?
Mina's gonna go with Nest on the thorough, kind of bringing it all together at the end.
And Koffrik was actually there. Which of Koffrik's teammates was Koffrik most impressed by?
I'm thinking. Come back to me.
Okay. Vivian, how was Araxi's day?
Araxi, I imagine, showed up to go fishing. Lorpin said, "No, actually, go run with the sheriff today." So Araxi went to run with the sheriff and got a little bit of athletics and a little bit of melee, because why not?
Right on. And how about Wampy? Who I know was at the orphanage, where there was a bit of a kerfuffle, but things got cleaned up.
Wampy now has every attribute at 2.
Ooh, very nice. A well-rounded Wampy can cause maximum mischief.
That's terrifying. What a terrifying use of your points. I never thought to
I
do
still have
something like that.
experience left over.
And what was
Dang.
Wampy's opinion of the various stories just told?
Wampy's going to give it to Bax because Bax stood up for Mangra.
Very good. And how about Araxi?
Probably going to give it to Koffrik for sticking back and discovering that the Halfling was a sodomancer and could help, because otherwise there's no way we would have known.
Very smart. And then Nest, who was actually there, which of Nest's teammates were most helpful?
Elros for saving Mangra.
Yeah, when somebody accidentally told Mangra to run off into the woods. Mm.
In my defense, how was I supposed to know someone would literally try to snatch her?
That's fair, but also you did tell a 5-year-old to run alone in the woods.
When a bunch of
should have escorted
strangers were
her.
visiting the village.
I should have escorted her.
There's
I wanted her to feel comfortable.
There's a reason that Miss Maybell didn't want her to go to do this without an escort. Alrighty.
This town is way less safe than I thought, okay?
Yeah, the strangers that live, like, in north and south of here, Celebre and Half-Elven, they're not necessarily nice people. I mean, Half-Elven is, like, the den of piracy in the west, and Celebre is this sort of legendary mercenary hub. The king of Celebre is a bandit who took over by force. I mean, we don't really give Violithan a lot of shit because he mostly is doing a good job running the city, but, you know, it wasn't a peaceful transfer of power. Alrighty, has Koffrik made a decision?
No, not yet.
Then let's move on up to Glup and Kyleel. What did they do today?
Today, Glup learned a lot about being stealthy. He got up to spending 6 experience points. He went to 3 stealth.
Cool.
While Kyleel spent the day at the herbalist and learned all about medicine and taming.
Ah,
Spent
okay.
12 points in boosting those both up to 3.
Very good. Of the stories that they heard, which one did Kyleel like the best?
He liked Kite's character's story the most.
Koffrik? Okay, and what about Glup?
See, I'm trying to think of what the second most chaotic person in that group was. I'd have to go with Rav's character.
Wait, which one?
Rav's
Ness?
Rav, or Vivian.
Oh, okay, character Nest. Yes. All right, gotcha.
Guy with names.
And then, having actually been there, which of Elros's teammates was Elros most impressed by?
Captain's characters.
So, backs in this case?
Yeah.
Okay. Checking back in with Koffrik. Ready to go?
Yeah, I'm gonna say it's Henri, right? I don't know how we I keep hearing it's pronounced different ways, I feel like.
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay. Henri, for like recruiting what like is actually the backup band and like bringing all that together.
It's worth noting that the Sonomancer would not have been able to solve the problem correctly if there hadn't been a backup band for him to modify.
Yeah, that's kind of where I went
all the
with it.
pieces had to be in place. Yeah. Alrighty. Which brings us up to Francis and Zara. What did they do today?
Francis was with Cam.
Cam will have been teaching Francis the basics of scholastic magic, which relies upon the use of a cantrip, which is a spell that links your mind to the physical responses of the aether, creating a little orb over your hand that changes its texture, color, and visual properties based on your current mental state, allowing you to learn the different mental syllables and find ways within your own mind to recreate them. If you have an experience point to spend, and I believe you have at least 4 of them, potentially a lot more, then Francis can spend an experience point to add ethereal potential to the character sheet in the potential section. Further study will be required to start acquiring the other components that enable the use of magic. But in particular, like necromancy, there's a lot of study you'll have to do to learn about that. But this is the beginning of that road. You will note that the experience point is deducted automatically when you add the potential to your list.
Yeah, so yeah, I see it 3 XP spent.
Yes.
And then I leveled it up to 1.
There you go.
Cool. Zara was with the fisherman. No XP to spend, so just helping out. Oh, I guess I would have gotten some sort of pocket change to that, maybe.
Yes, everyone who did chores, don't forget that you get a pocket change for doing chores.
And then I'm assuming Cam doesn't count as pocket change.
Cam does not, no. Cam is purely educational.
Cool. And then point time. Henri will give a point to Bax for helping out a couple occasions where I certainly would have failed. I think even just getting the musicians, I think that I would have failed that without your assistance there.
Sorry, one more time. Which character was it?
Bax.
There it is. Okay.
All right, so that leaves Francis and Zara. Let's see. Francis would give a point to Nest for being so helpful and basically juicing up Mangra. I can't remember. I can't remember the name. Maybe it's Mangra.
Mangra is the name of the little 5-year-old,
Mangra.
the little child. Yep.
Yep. So Francis would give a point there to Nest, and then let's see, Zara. Zara would give a point to Elros for in the early stages, kind of coming up with a plan for different things that would, help out, like hitting up the herbalist and getting musical instruments and that sort of thing.
Excellent. That takes care
I
of
think
all
it's just
three
me.
rooms.
I think it's just me, right? Did I give points
Yep.
or?
Not yet. It's your turn.
All right, cool. For Troy, I'm gonna give him a point for getting the Sonomancer, and one for Henri for getting the backup singers.
Which characters gave those points?
Leica would have given it to Koffrik, excuse me, and Trumpy would have given it to Henri.
And did Leica and Trumpy do anything today of note?
Leica worked at the inn, didn't have any experience points, so just helped out with the craziness at the end today and got pocket money for it. And Trumpy, I need to spend some points. And Trumpy went with the herbalist and is finally having their studiousness rewarded.
All right. And then for Bax, which character is Bax giving their experience point to?
What's Chice's character's name again?
Elros.
Elros, for saving the baby from my ill-advised attempts to help her sing.
For a split second there, I thought, uh-oh, next week's session is going to be a rescue mission. But it was taken care of. Good fast thinking. All right, well, everybody proceeds to bed, recovers to tax, and thus ends the session. Good job, everyone. Good job piecing together that little puzzle.
So I had a question about skills. I think the max level is 5, right?
Correct.
Okay, cool.
Both skills and aptitudes cap out as 5. Potential is the weird one. It caps out at 10. The cost of getting it to 10 is incredible. But, yeah, potential, when it's rolled, is rolled by itself without anything else. So it can go all the way to 10 by itself.
But we have a trading limit of 3 right now, right?
Right now, yes. None of the teachers around here know how to train you above 3 in skills, and Miss Maybell doesn't know how to train you above 2 in aptitudes. At least not yet. Next week will be the Harvest Festival, which is a big event, so we're hopefully going to have everybody. I think that'll be really fun.
Also, then we can finally split the treasure.
Yeah, got to get that taken care of.
At this point, Zara's just been wandering around wearing it.
For Francis, because Francis is going to be pursuing potentially magical abilities, I think it will be worthwhile for you to take a look at some of the esoteric skills here. Or not skills, talents.
Yeah, definitely. I'll have to check that.
Oh, he changed the name to potential talents. Good.
be things I spend points on, right?
So these are going to be, they cost 9 experience points each. None of the teachers around here know how to teach these yet, but that is going to be unlocking soon. And so I think it might be, because there's a lot of different ways you can go about this, it might be just kind of useful for you to look at. It's on the Talus wiki, under skills and talents, under potential talents, under esoteric potential. There's a bunch of stuff. And the ones that are probably most relevant to you would be esoteric education, esoteric memorization. Actually, is memorization removed? No, it's still there. And esoteric research. Those are the standard scholastic stuff that will enable Francis to become a necromancer. There are other ways, though, to become a necromancer. So reading through the whole list is potentially worthwhile. There is also in the vocational skills. Wait, is it vocational, or did we move it?
No, you have all good night.
Good night.
Right.
Oh, yeah, okay. So if you're going to go the, like, type of necromancer that animates zombies and skeletons, under, of all things, medicine, there is actually...
That makes sense. That makes so much sense.
So under medicine, there is a talent called animation. Its prerequisites are a 5 in medicine plus any amount of magical potential. You have to have at least 1 magical potential, which I believe Francis now has, and 5 medicine. And animation becomes an available talent that has its own little subsystem for the quality of the creatures or creations you animate. So if you want to become Dr. Frankenstein and start making monsters, that's a way to go about it.
Francis happens to be my character that I've leveled up medicine in, and also Madala plays as Madala, so that kind of lines up well. Okay, I'm gonna go to bed. Thanks for the fun night.
You're welcome. I'm gonna go ahead and stop the recording, and I'll see everybody next week.
Night.